A very good morning to you. Watching the Channel M Breakfast Show on Wednesday, the 28th of January. I'm Nikki Dean.
I'm Byron Evans.
And some great news as the North West have once again triumphed. We've topped a poll for, wait for it, the most unhealthiest kebabs in the UK. It's official.
Fly your flags, ladies and gentlemen. It's something to be proud of. You'll notice across a lot of the news stories last night how bad the kebab can be for our daily diets. Now, we all know, it's no shock revelation that the humble kebab isn't going to exactly tick the boxes for your 5 a day. But what has been a little bit concerning is, well, some of the statistics regarding the content of these babs. For example, RDA, which is your recommended daily allowance for salt. How much salt do you think is in a kebab with regards to your RDA? How much percentage?
Oh, loads. 95%.
98% for women, 98% for men. Saturated fat, 98% for men, and 148 for women. So you could have a kebab and that'll see you for a couple of days.
Oh, there you go. See, credit crunch and all that. Keep you going for a day and a half.
Absolutely.
Jokes aside, though, I mean, it does make for quite cringy reading, doesn't it? But as you say, we kind of knew that kebabs weren't all that fantastic for us. Everything in moderation.
I've got to hold my hands up. I did see it all over the news last night, and by 6:10, I was downstairs in the local kebab house ordering one. It's a fact.
Greedy goat. Step away from the kebab.
Yeah, step away from the kebab. It helps with my emaciated frame. Yeah. In a few minutes, we've got all the latest sports headlines with Mike Bradley. Some great bargains round Manchester this week with our debt buster, Richard Fenton. But first, today's news with James Webster.
Good morning. Here are the stories you're waking up to this Wednesday. Robinho's spokesman says the Manchester City player denies doing anything wrong following reports a student claims she was sexually assaulted in Leeds. The Brazilian was arrested yesterday and has been released on bail. Officers are investigating what happened at the Space nightclub earlier this month. A police officer who was kicked in the head by rioting Rangers fans here in Manchester last May has spoken out for the first time about his ordeal. John Goodwin was floored in the violence ahead of the UEFA Cup final when a big screen due to show the game in Piccadilly failed.
Somehow or other I ended up being on the floor, being stamped, kicked. I remember holding my helmet on with my hand because while I was being stamped and kicked, some of this mob were trying to take my helmet off, and I knew if my helmet had come off, then that would have been it. That would have been the end of me.
He's been speaking as part of an appeal by detectives to identify 49 people that they want to question. Their images have been posted online and the force says it's had an extremely encouraging response. 29 names have been suggested which will now be checked out. Scientists in Salford think they found a link between a so-called tanning jab and moles on the skin that can rapidly change. The experts are worried about the effects on people who've used melanotan at the same time as a sunbed. They say it causes rapid alterations and it could make it difficult for doctors to make a diagnosis. It's come out the Manchester International Festival will cost taxpayers here in Manchester at least £2 million and possibly £500,000 more on top of that. The event, which promotes the very best of culture the city has to offer, will take place later in the summer. Kevin Duffy's on this.
Can you tell what it is yet? That's right, it's £2.7 million. And that's the total amount which Manchester taxpayers could end up forking out to support the Manchester International Festival, which was launched a few days ago. The Prestige Arts event will be held in July this year and features several world premieres, including an opera called Prima Donna by American singer-songwriter Rufus Wainwright. Another event will see the Royal Exchange Theatre turned into an enormous bingo hall for a piece of work called Everyone Loves a Winner. Manchester City Council had originally limited its spending on the festival to £2.2 million. But in the last few days, it's emerged that there is a sponsorship gap of around £500,000. As a result, councillors have said they're setting aside a further £500,000 just in case that sponsorship gap cannot be bridged. Despite the expense, culture seems to have united political foes over at Manchester Town Hall, where the Liberal Democrat opposition leader, Simon Ashley, believes it's a price worth paying.
We think that it's really important that in a recession you invest in the arts, you bring people to spend money in Manchester, and that's what this is. This is about reviving the Manchester economy, and that's why we're supporting the extra cash.
Of course, spending public money on supporting the arts is nothing new. It's gone on for a long time and it goes on everywhere. But in these difficult economic times, some people may well be asking, just how far should it go? Kevin Duffy for Channel M News.
Thanks, Kevin. And staying with that story, more help for the festival has been announced this morning. Our sister newspaper has been confirmed as one of the event's official media partners. The Manchester Evening News' online guide to going out, citylife.co.uk, will have details of everything that's happening in the run-up to the festival. I'll be back with the Channel M lunchtime news at 12 noon, and you can join Andy Crane from 5 tonight for all the latest from across Greater Manchester. Let's get the sport now with Mike and Byron.
Well, the back pages are still littered with transfer speculation as the January window is still open, but only just. But the Rocky Santa Cruz debacle is turning into a bit of a headache for the
It just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Blackburn boss Sam Allardyce, he's warned Man City this morning that he's been unable to find a replacement striker for Rocky, so it looks like that deal will probably die a slow, lingering death. They may pick it up again in the summer, we don't know, but for my money, I don't think that's going to happen this week. Tottenham have offered Aaron Lennon or Jermaine Jenas plus cash for Robbie Keane. He's someone else who Man City are looking at, and City have been told if they want Shay Given from Newcastle, they're going to have to pay £8 million for him. Now, City play Newcastle tonight, and the clubs have agreed that Given will play no part in the proceedings, so that deal looks like it will go through, unlike the Rocky Santa Cruz one. Antonio Valencia, Wigan are expecting another bid from Real Madrid this morning. Brazilian legend Zico, he believes Kaká was right to snub Man City because he would lose his ambition. That's a quote from Zico. And City are chasing Bolton for the signing of Miguel Veloso, who, as you'll recall, played for Sporting Lisbon up here against United at Old Trafford last season.
Oh, right, OK. Well, speaking of Old Trafford, but Manchester United took a trip down south to go visit the bottom of the Premiership table, West Brom, and dished out quite a thumping.
They did dish out a thumping last night. Quick look at how the score went last night. United won 5-0 to go, 3 points clear at the top. Berbatov, Tevez, Vidic and a Ronaldo double late in the game. United set a new Premier League record of 11 consecutive clean sheets. Edwin van der Sar has now gone almost 1,100 minutes without conceding a Premier League goal. It's not bad from the team. Many people were writing off just 4 weeks ago after they come back from Japan for that completely meaningless trophy. Now they've got the best defence in the league and they're the second highest scorer, so it must have done them some good.
Yeah, absolutely. And he must be chuffed to bits as well, coming to the latter stages of his career and still breaking records.
Yeah, and could end up with 4 trophies. Great end to the season.
Absolutely. OK, let's go down the footballing food chain to League One as County and Oldham were in action.
County and Oldham were in action. They played each other last week, County and Oldham. Last night they were both in action away from home. Scunthorpe beat Oldham 2-0. Tranmere beat Stockport County 2-1. Probably a worse result for Stockport County. Oldham are still in the playoff zone. Stockport County now 9 points away from that, and even the once mighty Leeds have overtaken Stockport County. So Jim Gannon's still at the club, but the rumours about financial crisis behind the scenes won't go away, and we just hope Stockport County, they've had a fantastic past 12 months. Let's hope it doesn't suddenly fizzle out.
So, yeah, pick themselves up, dust themselves down. But let's talk and going down. Let's go down a league. Yeah, down a league. There was a lot better news for 3 of our teams in action in League Two last night. Bury beat Bradford 1-0. Mac drew with league leaders Wickham 0-0. That's 4 points against the top 2 sides Mac have taken in the last 4 days. Rochdale had a great win against fellow promotion hopefuls Notts County 3-0. All goals coming in the second half. So in League Two, our team's doing the business. In League One, leaving a little bit to be desired. OK. Well, you mentioned that Manchester City are playing Newcastle tonight, but a couple of other local sides playing in the Premiership. Yeah, 3 of our big teams in action in the Premiership this evening. And the early team news for Bolton, who are at Blackburn. New signing Mark Davis is available. Skipper Kevin Nolan has returned from his 2-match suspension. Man City face Newcastle, as we've already mentioned.
Wigan entertain Liverpool. Mido will debut. Watson, Valencia and Kirkland will all miss the game through injury. So, as we said earlier, come on, Wigan.
Come on, Wigan. All right, just changing tact, and we'll finish off with Salford City Reds. Looked like they were having a summertime jolly out in Florida, but didn't go all to plan.
It didn't go. They had a training camp in Florida, as you say, and Steve Sims takes the guys out there every single year. It's a bonding process. They do work hard out there. Unfortunately, a couple of the guys broke a curfew. Malcolm Alker has been stripped of his captaincy as a result. Some people think it was a bit harsh, so we asked Steve Sims to explain his actions when we caught up with him at the Willows yesterday.
Well, it's within the. We're going to deal with this within the club. There was some discipline action taken while we're in Jacksonville. We come back. We've had a board meeting, and some players will be dealt with within the club. It's a very hard decision. You know, Malcolm's been here a long time, but you know, this day and age, and we're back in Super League, and you know, Salford City Reds want to go forward. We want to be a fully one of the top professional clubs in Super League. You know. Salford's been around a long time, and they'll be around a long time after a lot of us are gone as such. So, but we've got to make sure that our standards are very high. And you know, these things happen early on, which you know, it's not pleasant that it's happened. It has happened. It's been put to bed now as far as the club goes, and we won't be making any more comment on what happened over there in the future.
Joined this morning with our Ninja Warrior / Debt Buster, Richard. You've got some moves there in the...
It's all happening there, isn't it? Yeah.
Before, yeah. Now, it's the Credit Crunch. We're all counting pennies. You've got some great ideas of how we can save a few bob in and around Greater Manchester.
Yeah, we've got some good deals for you this week. The first one, unfortunately, I can't really take advantage of. It's for a haircut. The only people that can work with me at the minute are the Time team. But basically, we've got Tony and guys that are offering a deal, 2 deals, in fact. First is £10, which is for a standard cut and blow dry, about 2 hours worth. And the second deal is the same again, but with a colour treatment, which can take you to about 3 hours worth of pampering. Yeah. The only restriction is the times that you can book, which is between 9:30 and 1:30. But that's there in the city centre.
It's great the Academy have been there before. The only thing to point out is it takes a little bit longer than if you went to an ordinary salon, because they have somebody check in between, but it's
I believe
a great
it's a trainee
deal.
Stylist, but still with 3 years' experience, so
Absolutely.
You're in safe hands.
OK, food and drink. You've got some great
Yeah,
tips
Walrus in the Northern Quarter. For £9, you can get yourself a small dish, presumably a starter, main course, a glass of wine, or if you prefer, a pint of beer. All for £9, which is a great deal. Yeah, it's rare to get something for less than a tenner with a meal and a drink as well.
Yes, indeed.
Which is good.
Beluga as well. I've got some deals down at Beluga.
2 for 1. 2 for 1. There's a lot of criticism coming in at the minute for deals in certain bars, but this is a particularly good deal if there's a couple of you out for the evening. 2 for 1, and that's on cocktails every weekday between 4 and 7 in the evening.
Also, you get them all coming out after work for a few after-dinner drinks.
Yeah, especially with all the bad news that's out there at the minute.
Yeah. Even better than cheap is free. There's some great activities on at the weekend that's not going to cost you a penny.
Chinese New Year. I believe the celebrations are starting outside the town hall with a parade, and that all finishes with a huge firework display in the evening. It should be a really good atmosphere, plenty going on in and around the city centre, and almost an opportunity to start the new year afresh once more.
Yeah, it's definitely brilliant, worth checking out. Free food and drink as well, we've been told. Comedy night at the Frog and Bucket. There's some great deals there as well.
Yeah, I believe this is Beat the Frog, which is an open mic session. So any budding comedians out there that want to go down, I believe you have 3 minutes to go up against the Frog and make the audience titter. But it's free entry, and I believe they've got some great deals on the bar as well there. And it's a great night out. Been down there myself, and it's very funny.
Fab venue. You think you'd have to be absolutely bananas to get up on stage there.
Yeah,
and finally, if you want a bit of culture and a bit of theatre, the aptly named Happy Mondays deal.
Yes, fantastic name for Manchester. And this is a great deal as well. It's very popular, so you've got to get in very early. It's £4 entry fee for a ticket.
And that's at the Royal Exchange.
It is, yeah. And again, I can't qualify for this. Missed out by a couple of weeks. You've got to be 25 years or under, plus a 10% discount at the bar as well, so you can get your drinks in the interval and at the end of the show.
That's pretty good going, isn't it? Well, Richard, thank you very much. Some great ideas there of how we can go out and not break the bank.
Yeah, there's plenty to do there. We'll be bringing more in as the weeks go by.
Fabulous, and we'll see you again soon. Time now for a quick break, after which we'll be meeting the winner of our singing competition. Don't go anywhere.